and welcome. This is Ruth, and today I have another one of Tonic's showcase die sets to share with you. It's this beautiful set here, and it's called the Elegant Armoire die set, and there are 50 dies in there. Before I forget then, the finished size of the little armoire is 70mm by 195 by 35, which is 2.75 inches by 7.7 by 1.4 inches. Okay. We'll have a quick look at the die set and then we'll just dive straight into making something with it. So we've got this outside edge here which makes the... Actually, I've got one cut here already, so I'll show you what that looks like. That's this shape, and you fold that to make the base of this, so you'll need to cut out 3 of those. But all of the instructions will be inside your folder. I don't actually have them here, but I have them online. So you need to cut 3 of those out. Then you've got the little roof and the drawer panel, the drawer and the little shelf and all sorts of beautiful little things here. Some gorgeous debossing detail here which looks fantastic on mirror card or satin effect card or something like that. That would be absolutely beautiful. And then this piece here is the little legs. We've got a little latch. It is actually really beautiful, a gorgeous little key. So some things that you can use on other projects as well. And I know that this would make a beautiful little small bookmark. This would make a beautiful opening on the front of a card, and well, I'm going to go and get out some card. I think I'll go for something nice and bright, pink and cream, maybe a little bit of gold, maybe some purple, but I'm going to pick the card out now and come back and we'll do something lovely and pretty today. And if you haven't already subscribed, maybe you'd have a little think about doing that and hit the notification bell. There are loads of these to come up, and that way you'll not miss any of them if you enjoy watching how I make things. If you enjoy craft tutorials, yeah, maybe you would think about subscribing. Also, if you do enjoy it at the end, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and leave me a little comment, because that always helps my channel. So I'll be right back. As I said at the start there, you'll get a little list showing you all of the different pieces that you need to cut out. And I'm starting off with these 3, and 3 of these, 6 of these and 1 of these is what I've cut out already. So I just want to show you that you cut right down here and right across here on one of your pieces, and that will give you the back of your little armoire. Then we're going to have the 6 of these, and these will make the little shelf pieces to set the drawers in, and you'll just want to go ahead and reinforce all of those little score lines. First of all, you're going to take one of them first of all with the base pointing downwards. Now I'm just going to turn this over because this is the outside edge, the good side. That's going to be the outside. This is the inside of my little chest, and I'm going to glue that right on there. Just line the bottom of that with the bottom of this. Now I can take my next one, and that one then will get glued on directly onto there. So I'm going to attach part of it onto here and part of it onto here. That gives a double strength thickness here, and it also lines it up perfectly well at the back there. Whenever you've got this first little shelf into place, it's really easy to make sure all of the rest of them are aligned properly, because this is the little guideline here, and you'll pop this one in overlapping these 2 parts. That makes the base of the next shelf. This one then goes on like this. This one, same way as before, overlaps there, and then this one just goes on here, and it all lines up perfectly. So I'll go ahead and glue those. You can see then that that's perfectly aligned up at the top when you turn it over, and the points are aligning up here. And now you'll take this little piece and glue that right on over there. Next we're going to use these 2 dies on the front of the little armoire. So I have already burnished all these little score lines with my bone folder, and then now this is the top side, I'm going to set this die on top and then this one into the centre. Now the outside one is really just to give me a guideline as to where this one is to go. So I'm just going to get my tape ready. And then I'm going to tape this one down and remove the outside one. The new Craft Perfect low tack tape is actually really perfect for that because it's very fine, so when you run that through the die cutting machine you're actually using the tape on the front of this, but it doesn't leave any mark because it's lovely and fine. So the next thing you need to do then, just to make this look better at the finish, is turn this over and, keeping these areas flat, fold these out and crease with a bone folder. Now you're turning the door inwards at this stage. It's important to do that at this stage then because it makes the door look neater at the finish because it doesn't look like it's open all the time. Now you can go ahead and glue this directly on here, and you're attaching the front then to the other part of the armoire. This is the little roof part, and I'm just going to gently curve that. Now you could decorate that at this stage as well, but I'm just going to wait and do that at the end. But I want to give that a little bit of a curve and fold all these little glue tabs in, and then I'm going to glue this one onto here and these ones onto the front on the inside. These are the glue tabs, which are the semicircular ones, and you don't put glue on these little ones. That's actually just to keep it really neat and not leave any little gaps, but you do want just to put glue on here. And at this stage it's important only to glue it to here and don't attach it on here. Now that we've got this little part to this stage, we can take the little shelf part and just attach it in here. So first of all, I'm going to add glue onto those little tabs there, and they'll get attached to the other side as I lay this down. You see that just goes in there and right up against here. I'm going to add glue onto here and then on here and fold all of this up. So I'm going to put glue on this first of all and then attach everything, and you can see the way that's going to just follow that line along there because it's exactly the same curve, and then we can glue all of this together, fold all the little tabs in and close the whole unit up. My camera stopped recording there just for a minute or two, but all I was doing was holding this just gently. There's a little rise in it here, and where the two sides go down, I was just holding this in so that the glue grabbed before I went on to the next stage. And then now I'm going to put glue on all of these tabs, so I can put glue in here, fold this up and fold it all together, all of those, glue in here, here on these tabs, and fold all of this together, and that makes the whole little sealed unit then at the end. That's what it looks like then whenever it's all finished and glued up together. And I've got lots of decorative panels cut out now as well. So I'll show you this one first of all. I thought I would like to add a bit of a frame around here. So what I've done is die cut this piece again here. So this has actually got the outside edge. I just didn't cut the whole thing here because I didn't need this. So I didn't want to waste the card. And then I've put this one inside that and run that through the die cutting machine, and I've got these pieces. So what I'm going to do now then is trim this off with my guillotine right down that line, right across here, and then I'm going to cut down here and here with a craft knife, and that will give me just a lovely frame to put on here, because I thought the way the doors are, I'm going to add these decorative panels on there, and I thought that this would be nice with the pink frame around it too. So I'll go ahead, cut all of these off and glue them on. You can see here then that I've gone ahead and I've loads of these panels cut, but first of all I have cut these and I want to add those on here. So I folded them at this little score line here, and I'm going to glue that in there and the other one on the other side there, and then I can close that with a little ribbon closure when I get the two of them together. Then I'm going to go ahead and glue these panels on. So I'll show you what I've done. First of all, I've cut this one out in pink, and then I've used the two of them together in gold, and that is going on here, and I think that shows that little frame off really well now. And then I've got this one for here, and I've used the corresponding ones here for this two sides, and there it is, the straight one, sorry, there, and then the gold one, and that's how I just glue them together. Now there's a top and a bottom, so if you want them both exactly the same, there's a little sort of a T up there, and if you keep that at the top on both, they'll both match. Then I have cut this out in pink, these out in gold, and I've curved that a little, and that's going to go on there. That looks really, really pretty now. So I've decided to use this to make a little decoration for the top here, and I've cut that out in the ivory smooth card as well. Then I've cut it out in pink, and I've used that one and the decorative detail one in gold, and isn't that so pretty? And that's just going to go on there. At this stage then you could actually go ahead and just use the little legs and add them onto the bottom of this, and you don't even need the drawers on the bottom of it, but that way that would give you the little shelving unit inside here and little legs on it. But I'm going to go ahead and make a little drawer up to put on the bottom of this first of all. Next you'll need to cut two of these and two of these. So I have these two here, and I've got this one, and on the other one of those you take this little die. So you can see here it's got a lovely little fancy pattern around it. That will show you that it's the right one, and this lovely little aperture here, and you'll cut that out of this one. So we've just got one of these that needs the hole cut in the centre of it. Then you can go ahead and glue these together like this. So this one will get attached on here, and then we'll have one of these on here and one on here. Now we can take this little die and cut that out twice, and I'm going to attach this glue tab on here and then fold that over and attach this one on here. So we'll have these together, but the outside tabs can just stay open for the time being. So just attach them in there and there. Then you can go ahead and move all these tabs so that they're pointing outwards. Glue on here and attach this directly over that aperture in much the same way as if you've already seen the Advent Town buildings. That's the way the little compartments go on in behind the little windows and the little door. It's exactly the same concept as that. So that just goes directly over the aperture. Now you can go ahead and add glue to all these tabs here and here and fold the whole thing up. But if, like me, when you turn this over and you notice a little gap or two where you didn't get this just correct, just a tiny little gap, and I know I am quite pernickety. Well, I have taken the malted milk crystal drops, and I've just put a little tiny dot on each of those corners. That seals that. It's not exactly the same colour, but when you turn it over, it means that you don't have a little gap, you don't see anything, and it's really, really neat. And now I can go ahead and glue all of these pieces together. The little drawer, then we cut this out twice, so that's this one, and I have scored and burnished all the little fold lines, and I'm going to glue this directly on here. When I've got that glued on, I'm going to attach these little glue tabs in at the sides the whole way around, and that forms the base of the box. And then you'll see me after that folding all these over, so that gives a strong top because these are double-sided. But first of all, glue this together and then attach all the little tabs the whole way around the outside. I've got the little drawer made and popped inside the little drawer unit now, and we need to make a drawer front for that. So I have cut this one out in ivory, and I've also cut it out in pink. I just wanted to make that stable, and I've backed the two on together, and I've looked at it and dithered over which colour I wanted on the top, but I think I'm going to go with the pink. So the pink goes there, and I have put the little drawer in here so that I can centre this properly, and I just want to put the glue on the drawer itself, and then that'll make sure there's none anywhere where it shouldn't be, and I can go ahead and glue this on directly on there, and you can centre it up with the little pattern that's on this ivory part here. So that just needs to sit for a second or two until that grabs, and don't try to pull it out until it has grabbed, otherwise it'll just come off in your hand. But you can see the way it all lines up perfectly well there. Then I've taken this beautiful die here and I've cut that out in the gold, and I've also cut myself two of these little handles, and you can see here I've already added one. So there are little slits here, and I'm just going to open them up slightly more with my pokey tool, and my two little handles, I've got one in and I'm using this other one, and that would be beautiful in gold as well, but I just wanted to have a little cream handle on there, a little ivory handle. So I'm folding it backwards just there, and then I'll pop it through, and then we'll bend these little feet out and glue them onto the back of this before we glue it in. So there we have it, back in through there. Then you can put glue on the backs of these little tabs, just here and here. Fold that back, and then once that glue has grabbed, that's my two little handles in place, and I can go ahead and glue that on there. And then I can go ahead now and glue this onto the base of this, and it's all beginning to take shape. Now I need to make the little legs for this, so I've taken this die and I've cut that out twice, and then I've taken the decorative dies for the inside of that, and that's them there, and I've cut those out in gold. So I have glued them all together there, and I want to put them on here. Now I may not need to reinforce this, but I just thought at this stage it might be a good idea. So I've gone ahead and cut this out again, another twice, and all I'm going to do is just cut inside these score lines, so you can see just right down there, and then I'll nip a little bit off here as well down the side of the score line. It's really just to make this smaller, and do the same here and here, and I'll do that for the others and just glue that in behind there, and that way it's not going to sort of get in the road of any of these glue tabs, but it will reinforce those little legs for me, and I'll do the same here and the other bits. Now, well, they feel really sturdy now, so that's really good. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these on to the base of this, and then attach this tab on here, and then this one on here, and glue them all on. But I like to do this first rather than attach this together and add it, because that way you can be absolutely certain that it's going to line up properly and look really, really neat at the front. And while you're gluing those little inside pieces to the legs, if you do that to reinforce them, make sure you check from the front at the same time so that you know you've got them exactly flush all along these edges here. I've used these two little dies in the same way as I used all the other decorative panels and popped them on here and here, and now that looks really, really pretty. I think it looks really pretty from the front and the sides, but I don't really like the back like that, and I know it's not seen too much, but I don't really want to leave it like that. So I have cut a piece of ivory card here, and this measures 7 by 14.5 centimeters. Just check that for you. 7 by 14.5, yeah. And I'm going to glue that directly on there, and that tidies that all up. We've still got this little piece here, which you can leave if you like, but what I've done is I have cut the little, this little die. So I have cut this little die out twice, backed them both onto each other, and I'm going to glue that up there and keep it the same height as the one at the front. Now, to make the little padlock that goes on the little doors there, you'll need to cut this die out 6 times, but the only piece you'll actually need 6 of is this strange little shape here, but you will need 4 of each of these other 2. So I've gone ahead and I have glued the 6 of these directly on top of each other. I have glued 2 of these together, that's this bit, so these are 2 together, and then I've very, very carefully layered the 6 up there, so you can just about see the dimension that's in that. Now be very, very careful that you have all of this lined up really, really well, and make sure that you let it dry really well before you try to go any further with it, because any bits of glue that are about there will make the next little piece not work. Then we've got this piece here, and I have cut that out 4 times. I've glued the 4 of them very, very carefully together, and actually on the back of it there I have burnished that down with my little bone folder just to keep that nice and smooth, so it's nice and smooth on the back and the front. So 2 pieces together, 6 layers of this, and then 4 of these, and you'll just set that in there, and that should move freely up and down inside there like that. Don't glue it at all, just leave it like that. And then again we've got another 2 of these which I've glued together, and then I've taken the little decorative panel that goes on top of that and glued that on in gold, and now I'm going to add this directly on top of here, being very, very careful to make sure that no glue goes on this piece here. So the glue will just go around here, now you've got a lovely little padlock, and this piece moves up and down inside. Just sandwich that all together and make sure it's all really, really tight, and then you can go ahead and pop this in here. So that will just go through the 2 holes on there like that, and then push it down in, and you've got a lovely little padlock on the front. It's really, really pretty, isn't it? Well, you can't really have a padlock without a key, so I've cut the key out in gold, and to keep that safe I'm just going to pop it into this little drawer like that. And here you'll notice that there was a little heart came out of that, and I actually thought of cutting 2 of them. It would be nice maybe putting one on here and one on here, but I thought when I turned this round it would add a nice little feature up at the top there. Okay, I've shown you exactly how to make this part, how to make this part, and how to make this part. So you can go ahead now, you've got all the instructions really on the sheet as well, but of course if you want to follow along with the video, I've shown you how to do these separately. So you could most definitely stack some of these up and not have this on top. You could have this with the legs with no drawers in between, or you could go ahead and even add a couple of these this way, or you could add a couple of these this way and make a longer one and add 2 lengths of little legs across the front there. So there's loads and loads of ways you could use that. And as well as that, you could actually go ahead and I'll just pop this open and let you see inside here, because I think you could put little drawers inside and on those shelves as well. That would be really, really nice. But I decided that I would like to make a card and leave you to do whatever you like with that one. So I'll show you what I've done here. I centered this die right on top of a 5x7 card here, and I left enough room to put some little legs down below here. So this, if you are measuring this in centimetres, it'll be 3.5 centimetres out from each side here and here, top and bottom. And then again with this Craft Perfect tape, sometimes I use heavier stuff to die cut pieces if I'm running a lot of them through the machine at one time, but for something like this where I really need to be careful, I'm using this. And I have my die tape on there, and I've cut that out, and that gives me these beautiful little doors. And then I have done exactly the same thing that I did to make this little framed area for here, so you can look back in the video and see that. And I have cut that out in pink card, and I'm going to glue that on there. Actually, I've already gone ahead and put 3D foam pads on that because I wanted that raised up. So I'll go ahead and add that on first. Should have said, whenever you're cutting that aperture in the card, don't forget to put it through your die cutting machine like this so that it's open. Otherwise you'll end up with the doors cut out in the back as well, and that's not a good look. Then I have gone ahead and I've cut the little panels, the same gold panels that I cut for the little armoire itself here, but I'm not backing them onto the cream this time. Sorry, not backing them onto the pink this time. I'm going to put them on here. I've also cut the little legs, and I have put some 3D foam pads on the back of that, and I'm going to add that on there, and then I'll come back and show you what else I'm going to do. I wanted to add the other little feature up at the top there just to decorate the top of this, and it's slightly different from this one. So I've taken this die and I've cut it out in gold, and then the one that goes around it, cut it out in ivory, and I've backed the two together. And then I cut myself another little front of the padlock in ivory this time and put the little heart on there, and I've got some 3D foam pads. So this is going to go on here, and I needed the foam pads here because this piece is raised and I want to add it so that it will be level with the top of this, and I'm just going to put glue along the bottom edge of it there, just there, and then the 3D foam pads, and that will bring that all up there, and that looks lovely. There we are. Now there are a few little sentiments in this set. There's a big one there which says packed with love, and obviously, sorry, I'll show you it there, packed with love, and you can put that wherever you like. This one here then says I saw this and thought of you. I have that die cut, but I actually can't find it. Just as I go to tell you about it, I can't find it. And then there's another one here which says you are so special to me, and I wanted to add that along here. So again, I've got some 3D foam pads, and I've just put them onto the back here, and I'm going to pop that on just in the center there, so it will go right across just about there, so that it doesn't obscure the doors and the door's still open. Now there's not an awful lot of detail on that. I might come back in a minute or two and put something into the center here, maybe a little gem or something down there, and it's so pretty. But I think if you're going to give a gift like this, a card with it is absolutely stunning. I decided against adding the little padlock and adding little details in here because I thought it actually was quite plain and simple but beautiful, so I thought not to take away from the elegance, I would just add a little piece of ribbon down here. I've looped it around a little die cut key which I'm leaving sort of dangling there, and I added a tiny bow up at the top, and I think it looks really pretty. Now I want to show you how to make a little pocket. So the pocket could be used in a memory book, or it could actually just be a pocket card. And I've taken the same outside die that I used to cut the entire shape in the first place. So that's this one. And I didn't need most of this, and I didn't need most of this. So I have used this part, and then I've trimmed these two pieces and left just enough to give me little tabs, and you can see there I'm just about to do it on this one. I took the entire bottom off that one, and then I'm just going to trim down here like so. And I can go ahead and chamfer that there and there. So I don't need any of those pieces, and on this one I've left a little piece at the bottom as well. And what I'm going to do now is just make sure I've got all of these burnished really well. And I'm going to glue them together and make myself a little pocket. That will all get glued together like so. And then I can put a little tag inside that. I do just love to be able to share extra ideas with this, because although this is a fantastic die, a fantastic thing to make with it, you know, it's not every day you want to make that. You want to sometimes to make something a bit quicker. So there you are, there's the little card, and there's the pocket. Back to that again. I've cut this shape out then in the beautiful patterned paper. That's just an old patterned pad that I had in my stash, and then I've taken this piece that I had up here and I've added that on there. The Packed with Love, which I showed you earlier, I've backed onto some cream card, and then the little heart again from here I've just added in here. And then this is the piece that's the decorative detail at the top of the legs here, and I've added that along at the bottom. So there's the little pocket. And then I made myself a tag for the inside of it by cutting the same shape that I've used for the panel on the top, and then I used this little piece, which is this one, and I popped that over the top of the centre of it before I punched a hole in it, and then I added my little loop of ribbon, and that's my tag that you can put photographs on, or a little memory, or a little quote, or even that could be the card itself. It could just be a little pocket card, and I thought this was a really beautiful little finishing touch, and I added it along there too. So that just pops in there, and that's just another little way of using this. So I hope you really enjoy that. I love these pretty colours, and I love that pretty set. I really have enjoyed that. Thanks very much for watching again. I hope you do come back and watch some more, and if you haven't already subscribed, please think about doing that. That helps my channel, as does giving it a big like if you have enjoyed it, and it really helps if you do give it, leave me a little comment down below too. I love to hear from you, and then I love to keep in touch as well. I do try my best to get back and reply as well. My affiliate links for everything I've used will be down below in the description of this video. It doesn't cost you anything extra to buy through those links, but I do get a little commission from that, so I always appreciate everybody who uses those, and thank you very much. So until next time, happy crafting. Bye bye.